Hello, Sweaty Pepperoni. This is Xlog, Season 2, Episode 1. And as you can tell from the title, it's about people pleasing. I have my phone right here. And yes, essentially for the background of this, 2 months ago, one of my friends basically convinced me to join Discord. Uh, I was already on Discord, I just never used it. Like most of the social media platforms that I'm on, I just don't find the need to use it. But he convinced me to join his what do we call it again? Discord server. He convinced me to join that, and so I did. And I met a few very good people, even interesting people, even, and I think one concerning person. But essentially, yeah. One of the interesting people was this one good fellow who talked about self-harm that he had committed on himself, apparently. I don't know if that's true. And I personally noticed something about him, that he was very, very much a people pleaser. As in, like, he would be very desperate to get the other person to like them. And I understood the feeling that you get, like you really want people to like you, but it also made me kind of wonder on this thing, because this was an episode that I wanted to make a while back. I just couldn't. But yeah, I have like 3 main points that I'm going to talk about on this, starting with, why do people please? Well, I don't know. I honestly do not know. My personal assumption is that it's just in our biology. Like, we as humans can't really help it. Because if you look at our history, I think at least more than half of the time humans have existed on this planet, we have required to stay together. Like, we needed to stay together. If we didn't, we died. It was as simple as that. Because we're not the strongest. I don't think we were the fastest even. We were the most persistent, but not the fastest, as much as I know. We were smart, but like, smartness alone can't help you. You need unity. And so there was a lot of tribalism, right? Like, if one person believes something different from the whole tribe, that person will be kicked out. And so you kind of get these instincts of, I need to make sure I stay according to everything else. And I feel like you can notice this even today, that there's this big dilemma of, should you follow everyone or should you not? And I have those issues myself even, where I have to kind of balance out being myself and being with everyone else, whether it's because I want to be accepted and I want to survive socially, and also maybe I'm going too far with like being self, where it just becomes stupid. But anyways, yeah, it's like our instincts are built to be social, because we are social creatures, and this is why solitary confinement works so well at like torturing someone, because you will be all alone, you won't be able to socialize, that you die. Essentially, you die mentally, or I don't know if you can physically die in a solitary confinement. I believe you can. I don't know. But yeah, next is this really an issue? It's it's not really an issue. Like, again, it's our instincts, and our instincts were built to help us, and they do still help us in small, minuscule amounts. Like, let's say there's like, you were eating pizza with your friends, and oh no, there's one slice left, and your friend wants to eat it, but you want to eat it, but you let them have it. Now, on one side, you let them have it to not be a jerk, which I would say equals to you trying to be socially accepted, that yeah, you're sharing. On the other hand, it's also kindness. Like, you're being nice. You're like, yeah, it's okay, you can have it. I won't. It's okay. You both had pizza, but like there was one slice left. Who's gonna fulfill their gluttony? You're letting the other person fulfill it. It's kindness. But on the other hand, if you're like, yes, I'm gonna change every single piece of detail about myself. Every single minuscule little thing about myself just so that the other person will give me their approval. Maybe that's not the best thing to do. I don't know how people reach that point, and I feel kind of sad for them that they reach such a point. Why the fuck is there construction up? Anyways, I don't know if you can hear it. I heard it. So yeah. Anyways, like I hate learning about, like, let's say a friend or a friend's friend or somebody being used by someone they like to change completely from who they are just so that the other person will accept them. And it just feels, it doesn't work. Neither does it work like emotionally, because you're just gonna be emotionally tired 24/7, right? Like even if you sit down and you're like, yes, I'm gonna change every single part of myself. I'm gonna change my interests. I'm gonna change my hobbies. I'm gonna change my parents. I'm gonna change my, I don't know, dick size. I don't know, something. You're gonna change everything, right? You're gonna change everything. You're gonna be a completely new person for this one random person. You're gonna wake up at, like, I don't know, 50, and you're gonna be like, fuck, what have I done? Because, I mean, it's a pretty old story that this happens. And that's not me saying that, like, you shouldn't change stuff about yourself. You should. I change myself a lot, 24/7. Like, somebody tells me, hey, you're doing this. But I don't just instantly change when the other person, like, let's say a friend says, oh, you're doing this. I don't change myself instantly. I first sit down and logically think about it. Use your common sense. Does it make sense that, like, I should be changing myself? Or does it make more sense that our perspective's just different? So, why don't people just think? I don't know. But that's where the issue lies. Like, how do you use that instinct of yours? Do you use it to such an extent that you just want everyone to love you, which just means no one loves you, because it's like yin and yang, I guess. Like, for example, war and peace, I don't think they can exist alone. You cannot just have peace without war. Like, if there's war, you can compare that to your life, and you're gonna be like, oh, it's peaceful. And if your life is peaceful, if somebody else's life is peaceful, but you're in war, you're gonna be like, fuck, my life is in war, right? You need comparisons, and you can't expect everyone to love you. I don't think I'm able to fully comprehend where that comes from, because I've been fortunate enough not to be in that position. But I've seen people be in that position, and I might not have been in a completely that situation, but I have been in somewhat of those situations. Like, for example, when I had I think technically my first ever crush, who I confessed to, and also I got rejected by, but we're still friends. I can guarantee that I have been guilty of changing myself to be accepted, which, to be honest, now that I think about it, would get me more rejected, because let's say I get accepted and then I show my true self, which was bound to come out. What's gonna happen? I'm gonna be rejected. So yeah, like, it's weird, but it happens. It happens. Like, for example, how gluttony happens, how everything happens. It happens. But it is weird, and I guess people need to really think about it. And that brings us to the third thing. Can you truly not be a people pleaser? Fuck no. Can you imagine a world where no kindness exists? At least for me, I think our perspective on kindness also comes from there, where we somehow want something in return. Whether it's a smile on the other person's face, whether it's acceptance, whether it's, oh, the other person is alright. I feel like that comes to people pleasing, because like you're pleasing the other person. I guess you can just like think about it for a few seconds. I mean, in the instant you might not be able to, but maybe later on sit down and try to think about it. Like, what am I doing? Like, genuinely, what am I doing? Right? After my first crush that I mentioned earlier, I did sit down with myself and I thought about it. Did I cringe? Yes. I cringed a lot. Did I get disgusted? Yes. Yes, I did. I also bottled up my emotions until a friend of mine made me let them out. But I did learn. Which led me to when I got my second crush, I was being myself. I didn't change. Did I shut myself a bit? Yes, I did. It's not like I fully was myself. No, I still had some pieces that were hidden. But would I say it was better? It was an improvement? Yes. To the extent that one of my friends didn't realize I had a crush till I told them. And yes, I did get rejected still. It's not like I wouldn't have. And that's alright. And I think that brings me to a point that why are you so scared of rejection? And I've been scared of rejection so many times. I still am scared of rejection in multiple different forms. Whether it's through crushes, whether it's, I don't know, education. I'm in what is known, what I've been told, is the top university in Pakistan for arts. Okay? I'm an NCA. Right? I didn't think I would get in. Heck, I didn't even think I would get into the previous university, which was BNU. I didn't think I would get into that even, right? And now I'm here, and I still think I'm gonna fail. That's also a form of rejection. And I think the fear is that instinct coming in different forms, but what we have to do kind of is to sit down and try to logically think that will this affect our lives to such an extreme extent if we get rejected in that form? And I did that with my first crush even. I did that with my second crush even. I sat down and tried to overthink, like, because I am an overthinker of a bit. So I did overthink. I was like, okay, what is possible that could happen? She tells her friends and everyone makes fun of me. She rejects me and we aren't friends anymore. My parents find out. The teachers treat me differently. All my friends just stop being my friends. Half of them were kind of like an extreme, and I like read this Reddit post where somebody had really nicely explained that if it's a friend that you have a crush on, and if they're a true friend, they'll understand. And that was true. They do understand. People aren't monsters more than half of the time. There are some. Maybe they're half of humanity is a monster. I don't know. But what I've noticed is that more than half of those monsters, you can just walk away from. And it's better that you find out they're monsters than to be accepted by the monsters and then be tormented by the monsters for the rest of your life or until you wake up. That was basically it. I just wanted to talk about people pleasing, because it's a thing I feel like almost everyone goes through. Everyone has a challenge of trying to get out of it. Some people go to the other extreme even, which is not giving a shit about anyone and only of themselves, which is self-centeredness. I don't even think it's narcissism. It's just self-centeredness. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's also narcissism. But yeah, just think before you just straight up change everything about yourself, because sometimes you're on the right path, or maybe you are a good person and you're changing yourself to be kind of an idiot. Maybe change that, because at the end of the day, like, the person who's gonna genuinely like every single part of you will still reject you in many ways. I have fights with my parents all the time. I have fights with my friends all the time. I hope I have fights with, if I ever find someone who loves me and I love them, that I hope I have fights with them too, that I have arguments with them. Because when you love someone, you want them to improve. But you also accept who they are. You won't just say, be a different person. You will say, hey, this one part of you feels like it's hurting you. Feels like it's hurting us. Please look into it. Can you change it? My parents have said that for me even multiple times. Change this part of you. You're being an idiot. And I would sit down and look at myself. If it does make sense to me, I do change it. If it doesn't, I don't. They have to live with that. I have to live with that. Am I getting rejected for that? Yes, I am. But I'm also getting loved for that, because I'm being myself. You just gotta balance. And yes, I did do the 6-7, because it's not my fault 6-7 took up this, okay? This was balance. You just gotta balance. That's all. See you later. I'm working on storytime animation again for my other channel. Taking too long, but Also, fun fact, I left the server a while back. Like, I think a week after that conversation with that interesting guy who is the reason this video is being made. I did leave the server because I wasn't able to survive. But yeah. High five me to watch the next video. I'm just gonna count to like 10. Shut the fuck up. Anyways. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Have a nice day.